it's Renee here, and today it's my turn to have a play with the November Freebie, which is this vintage ephemera set. And if you're a member of the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group, this was available on the 1st of November as an early access treat for the members. It's free to join and I highly recommend it. Great group of people, and they're always showing off fun things to make and all their wonderful inspiration. But now it's December. This is available in our shop, and I'll pop the link in the description box below to that. I'll also pop a link in the description box to what Kerry made with this, so you can have a look at her ideas. And today I was going to make, well, it's sort of a twist. It's sort of like a journaling card, but also the potential to be an awesome frame. So let's make one, and then you'll get to see what it is as we go. So I'll put this on super fast forward while I cut all the pieces out, and I'll meet you here on the other side. Okay, for the stamps I'm going to cut them out with my cling wrap tool so that they have that perforated edge like a real stamp. Right, so that's all the elements we're going to need. But I am going to need a piece of paper, or this is a very thin card. This is 160 GSM. I also printed on 160 GSM, so when I'm finished it's going to be quite sturdy, which is what I want. So I'm going to start by selecting a piece of one of these. So I might just maybe cut this down here-ish. This is going to be the starting point. I'm going to ink around the edges as I go. And I'm going to glue this down to my card. A little bit away from the edge, so I've got some wiggle room around it for other things I want to stick on here. So just like that. So now I'm going to be planning out how it's going to look. Don't necessarily need to use whole pieces of anything. So I might trim this off. Gluing. I'm going to put this above that signature so I can still see that, filling in some of that blank space. Okay, next I might cut this in half. Just use this bit. Pop that kind of there-ish. I've not got a plan. I'm just sticking as I go, then trying to balance it. So right now it's sort of heavier on this side because it's got this colour. Maybe a whole strip of pictures like that. Oh, I didn't ink these. Ink real quick before I stick them down. And stick that there-ish. Next, might cut this in half. Don't really want to cover up my signature though. Let's cut a bit more off. There-ish. That there. And perhaps a stamp. There. Like that. And I feel like it just needs a little something somewhere for balance. Alright, once you've built up your embellishment and you're happy with how it looks, it's time to cut it out. So I'm just going to fussy cut around the edge and I'll pop this bit on fast forward. Okay, so there we have our embellishment, and it can be arranged however you like, whatever pleases you. And the back is completely clean, so you can write on it, but it's kind of boring. So let's spice that up a bit. So I'm going to take some more card, and I can see kind of visually there's a square space here, and I want a square space. So if I put my card over, bringing in just a little bit from the edges, and using a pen or a pencil, I'm just going to mark roughly where I need to cut. So using my mat to make sure I cut straight. Alright, so now I've got the rough shape. I'm going to put it back over the top again. That's kind of perfect. So what I'm looking for is so that I have, where it's closest to the edge, a similar sized gap around where it's closest to the edge. I don't mind these extra overhangy bits. We're going to decorate those in a minute. I just want to make sure that this is good, which it is. So I'm going to give it a little ink. Actually, before I ink that, I might give this a little light inking. We don't want it too dark. So, light inking, light inking. So I'm going to put my sponge down in the middle, or the tool down in the middle, so where it does that first heavy circle, this is one of these dome tools, starts in the middle, because that's going to be covered by our little square we've just made. And I'm not that fussed about the middle, because that's getting covered. I just want all the edges to just be a little bit not wide. And that's good enough. So I'm going to get my white square, ink around the edges. Like that. Find which way it went best. This is pretty square in both directions, so just pick one. Glue. And place. Like that. Alright, so that's the top, so up here's the top. So now to add in the interesting parts. So using some of our leftover bits and pieces, I'm just going to look for something that I think would look good in some of these spaces. So here we've got a quite long space, so I want to look for something that will fit in there, look interesting. It's too short. What have we got in here? Too short. I think we'll go with one of these. I'll cut this longer panel of text out here. See how high we want it. Now again, I want to keep it a little bit away from the edge, so if I cut it about here, it should be good. And about here. Okay, that's going to work size-wise. Let's ink. Bit of glue. And place it down. Like that. Okay, so next we've got this space here and down here. Give it a try. What's the worst that happens? I'm just marking where the edge is, and I'm going to chop it off a little bit inside that. So it's just like that. Take this little spike off this corner. So it's like that. It will do. We're just filling in the gaps. Just like that. Alright, let's ink around the edge of the whole thing. Alright, so there we have an embellishment that is some place to write and pop in a journal. However, it doesn't have to be. What it could also be is a cool frame. So using the box as a guide, actually it'll work easier if I do it this way. Take my blade, carefully cut the box. Pop that out. And then we still have an embellishment, and now we have a pretty cool frame. Either side it's a pretty cool frame. And it's not too flimsy because I made it out of the 160 GSM, but you could put that in your journal page and build another embellishment inside it, or put it on a photo, or, you know, make it whatever size you want and use it however you like. And this piece can still be used as like a writing spot for your journal. We'll just ink these edges. And that's good to go. I could trim it into a tag shape, punch a hole in it, all sorts of stuff. Cut it into two thinner ones. Anyway, that was just my take on this, and I think these are just the cutest frames to put on something. So, put it under some white. In fact, we'd probably ink the edge on the inside as well now. Let's give that a quick go. Gentle, gentle. There we go. Love it. Super cute. And every one you do will be slightly different. So I made some earlier. This was one that I didn't cut out, and it's got more around the edge, as you can see. But I also made these ones which I didn't use the same technique on the back, but I used the same technique on the front. So, you know, that sort of thing. And, you know, I experimented with the backs to see what sort of back I liked. And so this frame idea was born. Anyway, quick kitty update before I go. Puggy's doing excellent. Larry's not doing so well. He's off to the vet again tomorrow for another checkup, but he's a bit uncomfortable at the moment. He had the same diagnosis as Pug, but apparently it's been caught a bit late and it's done a bit of damage to his heart, and he's retaining a bit of fluid. At the moment he kind of looks like he's eaten a football. But we've got him on lots of meds, and the word no is not in our vocabulary at the moment for him, so he's getting everything he wants when he wants it. Lots of treats, lots of cuddles. But he's doing an awful lot of sleeping at the moment, so I think he's just a bit uncomfortable. But I'll keep you posted, and I'll give him lots of hugs and pats from all of you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.